Awesome. I think we are live. So, in today's episode, I want to talk about the 4-step process to sharing your story. So, if you are joining me, say hello. Let me know where you're coming in from. If you're catching the replay, then please drop a hashtag replay down below so I can come back around and say hello to you. But for those who, if we're meeting for the first time, my name is Fran Loebscher. And I am a network marketing leader. I coach and train network marketers and home-based business owners to take their businesses online and to leverage the power of social media so that you actually start attracting your perfect prospects to you so that you can brand yourself and stop being a salesy weirdo and stop chasing your friends and family. Okay, so firstly, I actually want to preface this by saying that the one way for you to build a relationship and the best way for you to build rapport and to build a relationship with your perfect prospect is by telling your story. Now, it doesn't matter, what, where you're at. Everyone has a story to tell. Okay. And if you can learn how to get vulnerable and actually share your story, you will build relationships and build connections much faster with your perfect prospect, because there are people out there right now who are struggling with the exact same things that you have struggled with. Okay. Now, so often, so many of us have come from a corporate lifestyle and a corporate career, or maybe, for me, being a dentist, I couldn't take everything that I was struggling with at home and bring it into the surgery. It just, that wouldn't work. In the surgery, I had to be professional and help my patients, get them out of pain, figure out what they needed. Okay. But when it comes to sharing a story, there are 4 steps to sharing a story, and I want to be clear about this at the beginning. Is when it comes to sharing a story, is think about if the story is real and raw right now, or is it an older story? Because if it's an older story and you can actually lead somebody from where you were struggling with and to actually give them a solution, that is what you want to share. If a story is real and raw right now and you are struggling with it, okay, and you can't actually, because to build that relationship with your prospect is you need to lead them from the struggle, from where they're at to where they want to be. You need to give them a solution. So if your story is so real and raw right now that you can't actually give them a solution, that you can't actually see a way out of it, I wouldn't be sharing that right now. Okay. So the story that you want to be sharing, and let me know if that's something that you can relate to, and let me know if you struggle sharing your story, because I'm going to give you a 4-step process to actually sharing your story. Okay. And the first bit of that is actually figuring out what the story is. So what happened in your life that you want to share with your perfect prospect? What happened that is going to help them? What happened that is going to build that relationship? That's the first thing, is find what happened. Think about something that happened in your past that is going to build that rapport with your prospect. Then think about the feelings that brought about in you. How did that make you feel? Okay, because they're probably feeling the same thing. Things that happened in your life that have happened with them too. Okay, they will be able to relate to how you're feeling. Okay, then you want to think about, once you've figured out the feelings, is what was the lesson that you learned. Okay, and when you know what the lesson is that you learned, what was the outcome? So how can you then turn around and help your perfect prospect? So, for example, a story that happened in my life is a couple of years ago, I was sitting at a leadership conference. And while I sat at this leadership conference, literally, while I sat there, my phone pinged the whole time. And people were leaving my team, and every single party that I had booked in my calendar cancelled. Every single party. My business literally fell apart, okay, in one weekend. That was what happened. Okay, that was the story. The feeling I felt like a fraud. I felt like a complete fraud sitting there. I felt devastated. I felt like a failure sitting there, and I was ready to give up. Okay, What was the lesson that I learned? The lesson that I learned was I need to figure out another way to build my business, because if I'm doing everything old school, if I'm having all these parties, if my team is not duplicating, number one, I need to find people who are actually prepared to do what I do. And number two, I need to find a better way to build online, because I was sitting on my phone. I was sitting on my phone, looking at my phone, and everything was pinging at me. I thought, well, I need to find another way to actually be in front of people on their phones, because this is where everybody is. Everybody's on their phones. People actually don't want to be out doing parties. And this was before the pandemic hit. So this was before, things had to go online. Okay. What was the outcome? Is I figured out a way to build online. I figured out a way to actually brand myself. I figured out a way to start attracting people to me because of the content that I put out there. I figured out a way to actually grow an audience of people outside of my friends and family. I figured out a way to grow an audience of people who are actually looking for me. Okay, so I figured out a way to grow an audience, how to get content in front of that audience so that I could promote to that audience. And what has happened is my business has exploded. In the last couple of months, my business has literally exploded. So do you see how I took that story? The instance that happened, the when my business fell apart, how it made me feel, the lesson that I learned, and the outcome. Okay, so think about those four things, and when you're sharing a story, you want to be sharing all those four things. You want to be taking people from the story, from the struggle, to the outcome. So to give them a solution, you want to lead them to a solution. Okay, so that is how you are going to share a story. That is how you're going to share a story to actually build rapport with your perfect prospect. I hope this has been of value for you today. If it has, please drop a hashtag value. And if you want to learn how to actually learn a 3-step formula to build your business online, learn a 3-step formula to actually start attracting your perfect prospects to you so you can stop being a salesy weirdo, then just drop formula down in the comments, or you can grab the link above. It might be above, and I will get that to you, so that you can actually start attracting your perfect prospects to you so you can stop being a salesy weirdo and actually start building a business that you love. Hope this has been of value for you today. Until next time, please turn on your notifications for wherever you're catching this.